this computer. I think we're recording. Okay. Hi, FlossTube. Welcome to the Slovak Farms first Stitch with Us, I guess we'll call it. How's that sound?
Stitch along with us?
Sounds great.
Stitch with Us? I like Stitch with Us. We are recording via Zoom meeting, and we are here to chit chat, and we're gonna talk amongst our friends. Joe's over there somewhere on my screen. He's on the bottom, on the very bottom. We're going to get to know the people that we hang out with. And this way I don't feel stupid talking to a camera doing a Stitch with me, because that's my problem with Stitch with me is I feel ridiculous. So we're going to go around the room, introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about our stitching history. And then we're going to talk about the March Mayhem group that I think we're all a part of. So Beth Ann, you're on first.
Wow. My name's Beth Ann. I have a FlossTube, Stitching by Twilight. I haven't done a video in a while, but that will have to change soon. I started stitching in 1996. I suffer from anxiety and depression, and my mother thought adding another hobby would be a good thing to keep my mind occupied. And she bought me a Dimensions stamps kit. And I went at it like a house on fire. And then I wanted to learn how to do counted cross stitch. So I did that, and here we are now. 61 whips, and Lord knows what else is coming.
61 whips. What kind of things do you like to stitch on?
I like full coverage. I love samplers. And Hawkhorn Hollow, I'm totally addicted to the Hawkhorn Hollows. Hence what I'm working on now.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what you're working on right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I have 4 going now. They're just so much fun to stitch.
They are. I enjoy them. Okay, Miss Angie, you're up next.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Angie.
Okay.
Angie X Stitch. And I do FlossTube once in a while, here and there. I've been homeschooling my boys, so my stitching has kind of taken a back seat. I do try to stitch as much as I can. Filming, that's gonna be who knows this year, because education for your children comes first in my book. Priorities, but it is such a help because I do suffer from anxiety and depression issues, and stitching is a blessing. It helps so much. And so a day doesn't go by without me stitching, even if it's just 20 stitches or, as much as I can. It's do that. I got introduced to cross stitch when I was 13. My aunt was always working on some kind of needlepoint, whether it was embroidery or just regular needlepoint. She was working on a cross stitch little piece, and I still have it buried in some stuff somewhere, but I do still have it. It was a little magnet, and it looked like a feed sack. And it had sunflowers on it. Yeah, it was one of those little kits that she had gotten. And I remember we were all gathered at my grandma's house waiting for some family to make it through for Christmas holidays because the roads were bad. And we all had gathered there because we had not seen them forever. And so then I had stayed up really late all night long right beside her, watching her stitch this whole thing. So then she went ahead and finished making it and gave it to me. And after that, I was like, I want to learn this. And so she got me a little kit from Walmart, and that started my cross stitch journey.
Oh, that's cute. Hirschner's, I just got the newest Hirschner's catalog, and they have embroidered feed stack towels. I may have to get those and do those. I don't do embroidery very much, but What kind of things do you like to stitch on?
I have quite the eclectic, I guess, variety, because I've got full coverage pieces from a variety of people, but I've got little bitty ones too, and I've got cute ones and some horror stuff, a lot of sci-fi fantasy stuff. My boys are huge into Star Wars. You guys know that. So I do a lot of Star Wars stuff for them. I don't want to say I don't like something, because I used to say I don't like samplers, but now all these samplers keep jumping out at me, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy some and do them
Stamps are
now.
coming at it hard lately. They are some nice samplers out there.
So I'm like, oh, don't say you don't like something. You'll start loving it.
Yeah, don't say you'll never do it, because you will.
Tonight, I'm working on the Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday Series. Grandma's House. Mm-hmm.
How cute.
Yeah.
Very cute. All right. Sarah, you're next. You're the next contestant.
Oh, the price is right.
Great.
My name is Sarah. I have been stitching for probably 4 years. So I guess I'm kind of probably the newbie. I was introduced to cross stitch through a friend who kept saying, if you can make an X and you can count, you can stitch. I was convinced that I could sit and scrapbook for hours, but I couldn't sit and make these tiny little stitches. It would drive me crazy. And one day I thought, Mom always said, you can't say you don't like something if you don't try it. So I called my friend and I said, don't get excited, but I have gone to Joann Fabrics and I have bought my first stitch for ages 8 to 14. I thought to myself, at we'll just say 40 plus years, if I can't handle something for an 8-year-old, I don't need to be doing it. And I finished the little butterfly, and I was shocked to realize I didn't hate it. And I thought, well, maybe that was a fluke. So I bought a 4x6, and I didn't hate doing that. I was like, oh, who knew? And I haven't scrapbooked since.
That's funny.
Yeah, haven't I'm mostly a sampler girl. Full coverages, I think, would drive me completely batty. I'm mostly Aida. I've done some even weave, but I'm mostly Aida. And because I'm self-taught, I only do full X's.
Oh, you don't do tabs or anything like that?
Yeah, no fancy stitches for this girl.
They're not that hard, I promise.
We can teach you.
I can teach you. I like to do my fancy stitches.
Especially on Aida, the quarter and the 3/4 aren't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my thread over here, but we'll move along. Linda, Linda, you're up.
I'm up. Okay, hello, I'm Linda, and I have been stitching for 34 years. I learned to stitch from my favorite sister-in-law, who at the time was my only sister-in-law. And she taught me to do a little kiss the cook. So that was my very first stitch, and it was, just a little 3-inch thing. I loved it so much, I decided that my next piece was going to be a wedding gift for my husband, and it was a 12 by 14 Life is Uncertain, Eat Dessert First, with a bunch of desserts all around it and some big desserts in the middle. So that was my second project. Did manage to finish it. It took me, I don't know, 9 months. But it was done before the wedding, so it was cool, and had it framed and everything else. I stitch all sorts of stuff. It doesn't matter what it is, pretty much, except for I generally don't do horror. However, I will stitch things for friends. So I guess if one friend liked that, I could do that. I have a tendency to finish projects for other people who are having difficulties with their project. I did a lace project that was where the lace border didn't match up. And so I found where the error was, took out half the lace and then redid it. My
God
mother
bless you.
had given me a carousel horse that she started. And she started out with the back stitching and couldn't figure out what was going on. And I said, well, that's because you don't start with the back stitching, Mom. Here, let me do it for you. But that was only a 22-inch by
Goodness.
17-inch. You know?
Oh, only. Is it a Teresa Wensler carousel horse?
I don't think so. No, I think it was like a Dimensions kit because it was in
Okay.
a, yeah. Oh, and then my mother started for me the Rose Window of Notre Dame and was having difficulties with it. I helped her along with it for she got about a quarter of it done, and then unfortunately she passed away, so I finished it in her honor. So I have that as well. Yeah.
Oh.
And Ada is also my favorite, maybe because that's what I learned on. I've tried a couple even weaves and haven't really cared for those, or linens, I guess they were.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. And I've just started getting into stitch-alongs, which I'm beginning to become addicted to all of a sudden. Dying you guys anyway.
We have
And
created
I used to be a one project person.
Enablers. Enablers.
No shame in enabling.
But we do.
So I think that's about it. That's it.
That's about it. What are you stitching on tonight?
Tonight I'm doing a stitch along. It's a winter stitch along by Stitchonomy. So I'm adding some cocoa cups, hot cocoa cups now.
Oh, cute.
Yes.
Yes. Sarah, I didn't ask you what you were stitching on tonight.
It's called God's Valentine.
Oh, that beautiful one. Yes.
Is it one of your designs?
It is.
Why don't you tell everybody what do you have a design, like a designer name, or do you just design under?
I do. It's called Sister Lou Stitches.
Sister Lou Stitches.
Yeah.
And you distribute through
Through Hoffman.
Hoffman's. So
Yeah.
if we show your stuff, the lovely viewers that'll go, oh, that's so awesome. Buy it and support our friendly designer friends.
Yeah.
Okay, Layla, you're the next contestant.
Put the light out of my way so you can actually see me.
That's okay. That's how you stitch. You kind of hunch.
That I do. Okay, my name is Layla. I'm known as Novice Stitcher on YouTube. I do a video every page finish. I work on Hades a lot. Sew to stitch, and I'm branching out.
You're
Today I'm branching out a little. I can't remember when I started stitching or why, but I had a background in quilting and embroidery.
Cool.
So I tried a little kids kit, one of the kid kits, you know, My First Stitch.
The My First Stitch kits, yeah.
Yeah, so I did one. I decided I liked it and bought a Dimensions Gold and started it.
And that's where the trouble started, right?
It's a lot different. Well, I started it, messed up, quickly found out that I need to grid it, learn how to grid, tried to learn how to grid by the filaments, sulky, and found out that I'm not very good at that.
Oh, no.
I can draw a grid, but not the
You can't do the sewing, yeah.
no. So I'm really good on my Hades. working in 10 by 10 and parking. I'm really great at that. But when I branch out to things like Soda Stitch and what I'm working on right now is Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas. I'm doing the second block, Horsing Around. I should probably have gridded first, but it's on Hand Dyed Linen by Laura Reed, Slovak Farm. Misty Blue, no, Lake Days Sky.
Lake Day Sky.
Lake Day Skies. Sky.
I love that blue.
Yeah. So this is it right now.
Oh, nice.
That's so pretty.
I
I'm almost
love
done.
those. Those are so
I
awesome.
just had to do this tree and some snowflakes.
Yes.
That was-
Fantastic.
And I don't know what else to say.
Okay, then we will move on to Joe.
Greetings. Hold on 1 second. Turn my camera on for a second.
Oh, he's moving his camera around so
Okay.
that you can see his lovely sunshiny face.
Well, this is what you look at while I'm stitching. So
Why don't Joe and I are stitching in the same room in different spots. So why don't we switch to, I will mute mine and you can
okay. You
Unmute.
mute yours and I'll mute mine.
and unmute yours so it picks up your voice a little better.
Okay. Sound check.
Except we have a little bit of echo. Laura, you might want to mute your speakers.
Yes, let me mute my speakers.
Okay. There we go. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. Hello. Name's Joe. What you know? I started stitching because Laura's always stitched for as long as I've known her. And well, curiosity killed the cat, satisfaction brought him back. That simple. I was curious as to what she was doing. And I've always been slightly creative, but I can't draw any kind of line to save my own life. And staying within the line, yeah. So art, I like being creative, but art and me don't mix. So she was doing this cross stitching. I was like, oh, okay, that looks cool. Hey, honey, want to show me how to do it? She looked at me like I was totally nuts because there was a guy asking her how to cross stitch. But I learned how to stitch. I'm not a very prolific stitcher. All of these ladies probably stitch me into the dust. But I stitch.
What sort of stuff do you like to stitch on?
Anything that works for a guy.
Right now.
Let me finish. I like fantasy, video game related for the RPGs I like. Sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek, that kind of stuff. I'm stitching on Dragons of Sumatra, which anybody who watches our YouTube channel, The Slovak Farm, will know I kind of just stitch on that. I don't have 61 whips. I have 6.
Anything else?
I love you.
Aww.
Aww.
Okay, muting.
Okay, what did you do to get in trouble?
Oh, I missed it.
She said, what did you do to get in trouble?
Nothing.
Oh.
That's proactive. I love you.
Nothing yet.
I build up a buffer zone.
So,
I forgot to say how many whips I have. I have 101.
Wow.
That's less than you had at the beginning of the year, though, right?
Oh, no, it's the same.
Oh, okay.
I had a good ring. 101 and 21.
Oh, there you
sounds great to me. Better you than me.
go.
So there you go. Well, I'm Laura, and if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you should know who I am.
Crazy stitching lady.
I'm the crazy stitching lady. I started stitching when I was like 11. So I won't tell you how long I've been stitching, but I started stitching mainly because I wanted something to do. I grew up in a household with one TV. I was the youngest member of the household. I needed something to do while everybody else watched their TV programs. And my mother tried to teach me how to crochet, and that did not work out so well. Years later, my mother realized the reason she was getting frustrated with me was because I was doing it, quote unquote, backwards from her, because I'm left-handed and she's right-handed. So, so I found a little freebie cross stitch pattern in Old School Ames, which was like a Walmart back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, Walmart, we had Ames stores.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of a regional thing.
We had them here too.
Yeah. And I found it was a little teddy bear, and I stitched that sucker, I don't know how many times. But that's what got me started stitching, and here I am today with floss tube, a fabric dyeing business, a bag making business, a finishing business. You name it, I do it. Stitching is, I tend to go obsessive when I do things, apparently. So,
Wow.
I don't know, I have a bit of an eclectic taste when it comes to things that I'm stitching, because I like pretty ladies. I like farmy stuff. I'm doing Shores of Focke Run Hollow right now. That's what I'm working on. I like, well, pretty ladies. Those are Mira's. Mira's are pretty ladies. I like all the pretty ladies. Mirabilia, Bella Filipina, I think is how you pronounce it. Joan Elliott. Shannon Christine does a lot of pretty ladies. I like my pretty ladies. I don't know. I just do. And I like to convert everything. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
What you working on?
I said I was working on Shores of Focke Run Hollow. Yeah. I too enjoy the Focke Run Hollow charts. Boy, I just had total brain freeze on that for a second. There you go. All right. So now that we've kind
How
of
many lips do you have?
12-ish. I counted the other day, and I know I'm in double digits, but I know it's not more than 20. I don't really remember. I don't think it's more than 15. So there you go.
All right.
All right. So we're doing this thing called Stitch Mayhem. Cheryl from Tranquil Stitches came on one night and said, hey, you guys want to help me with this group? It was myself, Beth Ann, Joni, who's not here, and Laurel, who's not here, and Joe. And we said, sure. And we have gone down a rabbit hole with it, haven't we, Beth Ann?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. So the premise is to basically do all, if you want to do a month of starts, do a month of starts. If you want to stitch on one thing for a month, stitch on one thing for a month. If you want to theme it to a designer, if you want to theme it to a certain theme, the point is to kind of do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Laurel explained it to someone, and I like that explanation because it gives you a little bit of a push on what you do. So I think we're all participating on here. If I get to you and you're not, just tell me you're not and we'll move along. But I think we are all participating in Mayhem in some form. I know not all of us have gotten our Mayhem plans together, but this is going to go up around the 1st of February. So we still got a little bit over a month to sort of figure out what we're doing. But I thought talking about it and our plans and going through everybody's various plans might be helpful to give some folks some ideas. So Beth Ann, what are your plans for Mayhem?
I'm still tossing around some ideas in my head, but I think I'm going to do a Hawk Run Hollow Mayhem. I have 4 going right now: Christmas, Shores, Halloween, and Year. So I'm thinking of seeing if I can get a block on each one of them done in March.
I like that idea. There's our resident visitor. Angie, do you have your plans for Mayhem worked out yet?
I have it narrowed down to 3 ideas. Since I'm doing the no new starts, I'm not going to start anything. Obviously, I don't need to with 101 whips.
Maybe not, but you know, some people.
I know. So I need to get some finishes. And I do have a good handful that are so close to being finished. I just need to pull them out and finish them. So one of the ideas I had was to have a finish Mayhem and just make myself finish those. Another idea that I had was maybe Christmas Mayhem, because I never stitch on holiday stuff in enough time before the season gets here to display anything. I always just feel like stitching on it in the season. But then that's usually when I start stuff. So I thought, well, maybe I could have, you know, some finishes for the season. So, which then ties back to finishing. I think it is maybe more leaning towards the finish Mayhem.
That sounds like a very good plan.
Yeah.
Sarah, have you worked out your Mayhem plans yet?
I haven't. It's a little bit hard because I never know what inspiration is going to hit me.
You like to go with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the go with it plan. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Linda, have you thought
Yes,
about what you would
I
like to?
have. So I have a stitch along that I'm doing with Odd Thread Designs, and she releases a part the beginning of every month. So that'll be the first piece. I've also got a couple other stitch alongs that I'm doing. One with, actually another one with Odd Thread Designs, and another with Magical Quilts, and then another animal one that I'm doing. So I think I'm just gonna like do a week of each one of them is what I'm thinking. And an interesting thing I didn't tell you about what I stitch on is I have done peekaboo underwear for dancers. So I stitch like little butterflies on their peekaboo underwear and stuff like that. So
That is fantastic.
and because I don't do tattoos, I've added peekaboos to different clothing. So
Okay.
I forgot
love
to
it.
tell you that.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Linda is the winner for tonight.
Linda wins tonight. Yes. Layla, are you doing Mayhem?
Yes.
All right. There have been so many people coming into that group. I can't remember which way's up.
Charles said it was going to be, no, not a lot of people. It's going to be a small group.
What have you decided? Have you decided what you're doing for Mayhem?
Well, I'll be working on my Heaven and Earth.
Which one?
Well, I'm either going to do Mayhem, mono Mayhem, Monogam Mayhem, and stitch on the Last Supper all month, or I'm going to start work on one each week. So I'll have the Last Supper, Treasure by the Shore, Sunflower, and I don't know if I'll have restarted Anne Boleyn by then.
Why are you restarting Anne Boleyn? I missed why you're restarting Anne Boleyn.
I don't like the coverage on the fabric.
That's a very good reason. Aren't you like pretty far into that one though?
3 pages.
God love you, Layla. God love you.
it was not making me happy.
And if it's not making you happy, you're not going to want to stitch on it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So I get it. I do
did the
get
same
it.
thing. Yeah, I did the same thing. Lady seated at her needlework. I was working on the Hague version, and I got 3 pages in, and I was stitching it on 28 count Monaco. I loved the coverage. I loved how it was looking until I got to the guy's face, and then I hated it because it was so dark. So then, someone had said, "Well, Charting Creations has it, and it's a lot lighter. The
Mhm.
colors are different." And so then I know what you mean. You get 3 pages in, each 3 pages, it doesn't matter. If you don't like it, you can't stitch on it.
That was
Oh,
me
exactly.
with. Go ahead, Layla.
I just, you're right. It's not making me happy.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time the 4th week comes of March, I should have the fabric by then. And because it doesn't look like I'm buying it next month in February, but I probably can do it in March. But no, it's not making me happy.
You got to stitch on what makes you happy.
Exactly. You
continue.
got to work on it. If it's got to make you happy.
What were you going to say, Beth Ann?
I did the same thing. I was working with 18 count easy count fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Totally awful. And I've restarted 5 of my Hades
Oh my gosh.
on 25 count easy count.
I think mine was 16 count. Or it was either 16 count or 18 count, but I think it was 16 count because I did Queen Elizabeth on Ada.
Hmm.
And I didn't mind the coverage on that one.
Might have been
So
16.
it must have been 16 count, but no. I'm going to
Yeah.
switch it to 25 count or 28.
I like the 25 count. The more I work with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have 28 for Laura's Sunflower Bee, and I liked it.
Yeah. All right. Joseph,
What's the
have you figured out what you're doing for Mayhem? Talk loudly so my microphone picks up on you.
there you go.
Dragons.
Beginning, middle, end.
Beginning, middle, end. Why do I have 3 pieces?
Monogamous Stitcher, and I want to get it done for Guild Show. I have been slacking on it, and basically I'm using Mayhem as an excuse that I want to put at least 100 stitches a day in the month of March or more on this.
Have you figured out what you're gonna do when you're finished with that one?
I've had 5 different ideas. All of them are awesome. It's just money.
It just depends on what his finisher can handle.
Yeah, you see, because I have this beautiful lady in the house who does really good finishing. So I'm not
No,
doing
I meant what is your next chart that you're gonna do when you're done with that one?
Probably the Grim Reaper that I have. It's a smaller one. I'll knock it out rather quickly. And then I'm doing my first full coverage.
Oh wow, what one?
The Legend of Zelda map I started.
Oh yeah.
I'm several hundred stitches into that thing.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm over 1,000 stitches into that thing.
I think you are over 1,000 stitches into that.
And I just stopped it only because I wanted to get dragons done. It was bugging me that the pattern that brought back my bug after a 2-year stint of not being around wasn't done yet.
There you go.
Well, it's gorgeous. I love the fabric. I love the floss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm a red freak. I love red. And the fact is just, I had never done a pattern anywhere close to this big. I've never done one at a time. I've never used variegated floss. Most of this pattern is new stuff for me to try.
Well, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
Turning out wonderful.
Ink Circles is awesome.
Yes, 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 they are. Well,
And now, how about you, Honey Bunny?
well, I've been debating on what I want to do. I've gone back and forth. I've had several ideas. I think Cheryl's idea of letting her hubby pick out her mayhem projects is extremely cute and fun, but I do like my challenges, and I do
Have me
like.
pick out your challenges.
Stop reading my mind.
13 years of marriage.
Because that's what I decided today that I was going to do. I was going to
Merry Christmas.
when we get the prompts on Fridays. And usually I don't generally start the weekly prompts until Monday. So I'm going to let Joe pick out my prompts, my
Cool.
prompt, the projects I'm working on for my weekly prompts. That will be mayhem for me because I am letting him have control.
Wow.
Well, Carla's having Samantha, her daughter, go into all her whips and pull it out, and that's what she's going to stitch on.
Isn't she a little anxious about that?
Who, Carla?
Yeah.
Oh no, she's excited about it.
Really?
I mean, she doesn't know what Sam's going to pick, but
I could let my boys go through my 101 whips and like see which ones that are close to finishing. I could still do finish mayhem, but then let them pick which ones to be
yeah, let the
finished.
boys pick and see what they come up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though I would give them a smaller selection size because their eyeballs might fall out of their head looking at 101 different ways.
Well,
I know
and I
what they'll
just
pick.
thought,
They'll pick all the stars.
I thought, okay, the whole mayhem concept, yeah, letting somebody else say, okay, this is the prompt, this is the project that I think best fits it.
Mm-hmm.
The only stipulation I probably will give him is I'm not doing the same project for every single prompt. I do need a little bit of variety in my stitching life.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to have you stitch on so many different things, your head's going to spin.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm going to go through your cabinet and find your long losts.
I don't have any I have one long lost, and it and I are in disagreements, so it's sitting in a pot in a pile of shame of its own.
Oh, Lady of the Flag?
No,
No.
my nativity. Lady of the Flag and I get along well.
Oh, the nativity. Oh my god.
I yell at Lady of the Flag a few times, but
Yeah,
You
and
and
then she
Lady
falls in
are
line.
like sisters.
yes.
You get along great, but you always argue.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I gotta get Lady of the Flag done for the guild show in September, so. All right, well, that was fun. We all stood almost an hour. That was good. A good
I'm
start.
almost done with I'm working on the last snowflake.
Oh.
Yay! So we will schedule this for next month and see who comes, and I don't know what we're gonna talk about. So
How ready
But
we
I
are for mayhem.
I do want to say thank you for for you guys that are here that came.
Yeah.
That willingly put yourselves out there for me on this. It was a lot of fun. It was more fun than sitting here stitching and talking to myself. And
Exactly.
this is what we do pretty much on a nightly basis. So, all right. So thank you guys. I'm going to stop the recording and we're just going to keep hanging out.
All right. Thank you.